And we are back. Welcome to another edition of the Sports One. And we are back. We got the full crew in the house. That is what it's all about. The Yankees, out of any team in the league, are the best equipped to handle a blow like this.
I think there is a higher power at play here. He's due law of averages. That dude is the ultimate scrub. It's trash. Yeah. Every person you have in there is fucking trash.
Next game, you're going to see a big performance. You can see it in the end of the game, and I'm just totally stoked and excited for this.
We are back. Welcome to another edition of the Sports Port. And once again, it is the Barnes, Michael, and Renee from the Couch Show. How's everyone doing today on this Monday?
I'm doing good.
Everything under control, Michael? You seem a little tentative right now.
I don't see welcome back on here.
Oh, the bite, you're saying.
The song, it's not on here. It doesn't look like it. It should be called Welcome Back.
That's probably what it is.
Why wouldn't it be called Welcome Back? It is.
We'll have to talk to Tony's people about that. But lots to talk about. But before we do that, Michael, if you could just update us on all these comments we have. Everyone coming in hot.
It's not here, Tony. You're wrong. But so you're just gonna have to come in with that one first. Main Magic Mike in the house. Thank you, prefer from Tony. Anthony Mateo, you're the man. He said that's why he's saying that. I got to know who prefer is. FaceTime in. From Rick and Dave to Mike and Brian, Sportsport make the commute amazing. That's a good point. It's too early for Yankees fans to hit the panic button despite recent woes. Yanks still rank third in my top teams of baseball. Yanks say the course. You'll be okay when top guys come off the DL.
I mean, for once, that's a very good take, prefer.
Barnes, go to Mohegan, except the Yankees completely suck. ASSSAA, 4 S's. And then beautiful day for this beautiful show.
And amen to that.
Amen, brother.
Me and Matt had a great round.
Yo, tell me about it.
Yesterday.
He said, you shot a lot of good ones.
He was piping it off the tee, the hybrid. He made like this 35-foot putt or whatever it was, which was unbelievable. And one of those where there's so much break to it, and you like wait for it to like go in, and it just like curved in perfectly at the last second. It was like a tiger putt at the Players Championship.
That's beautiful.
So that was obviously awesome and just a great day. Good to be back out on the course. And it was nice too, because we had a lot of chirps, from both. Everyone we know was like, oh, you're not going to be able to play yesterday. No way. It's going to pour all day. No, not one drop, Michael, the whole time.
How did that make you feel?
Oh, it made me feel great because
did you guys eat up there?
We've talked about this. We actually just had a breakfast sandwich. But the thing is like everyone, and I know you wouldn't do this, Michael, but when you're really like concerned about weather for an event, you don't just go 10-day forecast. Oh, Saturday, 80% chance of rain, can't play. Well, look at the forecast. It could be 80% chance from midnight to 5, which is what it was. And then after later in the day. So is it amateur hour or no?
It is. Jinx.
There we go.
There it is.
Better late than never.
We'll do it to this. Good morning, guys. Brian, you have to do something about those Yankees.
They got to help me out.
And then Christopher Ortega, my guy, Mike. What's up, dude, by the way? I hope everything going well and got to come past the studio before I leave for my MBA HBCU fellowship for the Cleveland Cavaliers. Congrats on that, dude. Nice. You definitely do have to come by whenever you got a second, dude.
100%.
Come be on the show.
So as I said, so much to talk about. Let's start with something light here, Michael, as I like to do, coming off a rough weekend. So we're actually going to recap the 2 golf tournaments we had over the weekend. And I have to say, do we still have the Houdini soundbite?
Tony will say, yeah, page whatever, but we'll see. I think that's on the old one.
Oh, so we're tight on that.
Yeah.
Okay.
You need to do it again.
You would have been worthy of it because Tony Finau wins the Vidanta Mexico Open, 24 under par. Really awesome. Just destroying this course. 65, 64, 65.
Just felt it.
66. So a great win. I believe it's his 6th win on the PGA Tour. And you feel great for Tony Finau because he's a guy. from watching Full Swing, he's a family guy. He's very committed to his family. So you could tell the good guy that he is, and he wants to succeed in the worst way. All the trials and tribulations he had to go through from winning that Puerto Rico Open back in 2016 to now all of a sudden, where I believe he has 4 wins in the last 2.5 years. So congratulations to Tony Finau, a job well done. Jon Rahm fell just short of defending his title. He went 21 under par, so 3 shots adrift to Finau, 67, 68, 61, 67. And rounding out the top 5, you had Brandon Wu at 19 under par, Ashke Bahada at 18 under par, and then tied for 5th was Emmanuel Grillo and Eric Cole at 16 under par, as well as actually Austin Smotherman, who I believe was the round 1 leader. So definitely just, a great tournament. And I think, Tony was actually keeping a mindful eye on this. I saw him tweeting about the course
he just
yesterday.
asked, he said, dude, the course in Verdana, why is it so bad? He said, great call,
Wow.
Mike.
Could we elaborate on the so bad?
Can you elaborate, Tony, on the so bad? At Anthony Matera, I'm picking New York Rangers to win game. We'll get there.
Yeah, exactly. Just not the time, but for just jumping the gate. So, I think, overall, for a tournament, that's not an elevated event, I think it was pretty successful. Anytime you can get 2 powerhouse names at the top of a tournament like Rahm and Finau, when you don't have a full field to begin with, I think that's a job well done. And as we inch closer and closer to the PGA Championship at Oak Hill, and Matt was actually saying last time he was in Rochester, he passed by the course, said it's absolutely tremendous. This weekend,
Tony says he feels like there were random drainage holes everywhere.
Hey, sometimes course maintenance is required, Tony. What can I say? But it's kind of interesting because I'll be in North Carolina this weekend with Sam, Jennifer, and Shokery. And actually in Charlotte, North Carolina this weekend is going to be the Wells Fargo Championship. So that's at Quail Hollow. And that's always a tournament that has a pretty strong field in Quail Hollow. One of the, more, I guess you could say, popular and kind of historic venues on the PGA Tour. So we'll have to do a preview of that on Wednesday as the PGA season rolls on, and then the Byron Nelson after that, and then finally PGA Championship, Rochester, New York. So a busy month of May here for the PGA Tour, and I think definitely a successful season up to this point. And then we had in Singapore, we had the Live Golf Tournament, and Taylor Gooch goes back to back. We saw him, 2 weeks ago in Australia go 10 under before going 1 over and winning that tournament by 3 shots. But he wins this one at 17 under par, 7 under, 6 under, 4 under, and actually defeated Sergio Garcia in a playoff to win this tournament. So obviously Sergio finishes second, and then Brooks Koepka, who keeps finishing at the top of leaderboards here, shot 6 under, 6 under, 4 under for a 16 under 3rd place finish. Further down the list, Lefty finishes at 15th at 9 under par. So he's definitely improved his play since that tied second at the Masters. And I just want to take a look at what else we have. I know there's a break here in the action. And let's see what we got. So the next event is going to be May 12th in Tulsa at Cedar Ridge Country Club. So it'll be interesting to see, with the later this month, you got Trump National, Washington, D.C. You have a tournament in Spain in June, a London event in July, and then Bedminster in August, as well as Greenbrier in Chicago, Miami, and Jeddah to round out this Live Golf season. So it'll be interesting to see if they can pick up any traction. And now with, normal viewing hours, if, they'll get good ratings. I'm sure the last couple of weeks with the live broadcasts from Australia and Singapore, they couldn't have rated too well. Not that they usually do anyway, but just something to keep an eye out for. And then the gopher holes. What do you think he means by that?
I don't know. Oh, maybe there's a movie.
Oh, okay.
That he's referring to.
Gotcha. Maybe like Happy Gilmore or something.
No. It's got to be an older flick. What's that golf movie? Let me look it up. It's like
Caddyshack?
Yes. I think it's that. It's got to be something like that.
I could see that.
Right?
I could see that. So, that's what we got in the world of golf. I hate to do it, but I do think it's time to go to the world of Major League Baseball.
It's deep to left. It's 700. Albert Pujols.
Yeah, what a play! Stop it. Yep. And Alonso cracks one of the Mets win the ball game. Out of sight.
And it works at 100 miles an hour. 14 strikeout.
Throw deep to left field. There it goes. See ya.
All right. So a very, very tough weekend for the New York Yankees as they lose Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So obviously just a very tough time. And, Judge, they did announce it is a mild hip strain.
Bill Murray, Caddyshack. Sorry, I knew it.
Yeah.
Good job. Together, we did it.
You were on top of that one.
It's nice to see you smile on camera today, Michael.
Tony's having fun with that
Oh,
one.
he's driving in his Dodge right now, just going 102, just smiling himself. Can you imagine Judge playing 81 games in Mexico City?
That would be crazy.
What's that mean?
The Padres and the Giants played 2 games there over the weekend. In the first game, there was 27 combined runs because of the altitude. There's more altitude there than Coors Field. Didn't affect the game much yesterday, though. I think the final score was 6-4, as he says, dodging it up. But back to what I was
Yankees.
saying there with Judge. So mild hip strain, didn't play over the
How
weekend.
happy are you that it's just that?
Yes, but, it's like, I just feel, uneasy because it's like, I don't want this season to get away from us. So that's why it's tough. Like, oh, we're going to put him on the IL and then I'll have to miss another 5 games. He's definitely not going to play today, but I think the optimistic hope is that he could play tomorrow. But of course, you got to think long-term with this. And it's like, I don't need him to re-aggravate this. So I'm going to put my trust in them that they'll do the right, thing here. Because, they need him in the worst way. The offense over the weekend, 4 runs in 3 games, an absolute embarrassment. And we'll start with Friday. And of course, it was a mismatch from the start. Clark Schmidt versus Jacob deGrom. And kind of like how you would expect. Clark Schmidt ends up getting hammered. Jacob deGrom ends up getting injured. I mean, that's something consistent that we've seen over the past year. But just to kind of give you the summary, the Rangers first got on the board on a second on an RBI ground out from Duran scoring Heim, as well as a Marcus Semien double. And Simeon's been heating up after kind of an uneven begin to his Texas Rangers career. That made it 2-0 in the second. Of course, Schmidt again, trouble in the third inning. A Heim double scoring or Adolis Garcia and a Robbie Grossman homer to make it 5-0, which really kind of was the old kiss of death, as we used to say. The Yankees were able to scrap a run in the 5th, a run in the 6th on a Higashioka single and a Calhoun sac fly. But that was it for the rest of the game. Just another lifeless performance, 2 runs, 5 hits, 5 left on base, 1 for 6 with runners in scoring position. You struck out 5 times, you walked once. So a lot of just soft contact, not resulting, in any hits. And it's just really, really tough to see. And, Frenchie Cordero over 3 strikeouts, got sent down after the game, brought up Jake Bowers, who, has been raking in AAA. And I mentioned him last week. Of course, before he even gets in a bat, he gets injured in the field on Saturday, which we'll talk about in a second. But yeah, so overall, this was just an embarrassing performance. And I think, Clark Schmidt showed once again that he is nowhere near a major league starting pitcher. And I think he could be effective in the bullpen because we see spurts where he's okay, but he does not have the consistency to deliver over 6 innings, over 5 1/3. There's always an implosion waiting to happen. And when you're in the middle of a slide where you've lost 7 out of 10 games, you can't afford to have a performance like that. So that was how this weekend got started off on Friday. Then we were on to Saturday, which was more of the same. And I want to say was even more embarrassing. So you get shut out, first of all, and shut out by a guy who used to pitch for you, Nathan Eovaldi, who won a World Series with the Red Sox, and hadn't been that great going into this game. And he goes 9 innings, 3 hits, doesn't walk a batter, strikes out 8. This is Nathan Eovaldi. We're playing in Texas here. This isn't 20 degrees in Target Field. I thought the excuse was, oh, the cold weather, the bats haven't heated up. Here you are, warm environment, hitter's ballpark, and you're managing 3 hits off Nathan Eovaldi, a complete embarrassment. And I understand it's a different lineup without Judge in the lineup, but the guys who are there have to produce. And clearly, once again, on Saturday, they didn't. And your 3 hits, you had 1 from Rizzo, 1 from Calhoun, who I don't care. He's picked up a couple singles recently, does not deserve to be on a major league roster. That's a complete embarrassment. And then also IKF picked up a single. Brito, like he's shown us, it's tough to get him through more than 5. He did only allow 4 hits, 2 runs, 1 walk, 5 strikeouts, the 1 home run allowed to Duran, which was the difference in the game. But it's just like, it's tough to have to go to your bullpen so early every time he starts. And I know they only let him throw 60 pitches in this one. But that's kind of tough when you got Clark Schmidt, a lock to give up 5 runs, and then Brito, a lock not to go more than 5 innings. That's not a good combination. Bullpen did the job the rest of the way, but like I said, it just did not matter because the offense could once again not get anything going. And I understand if you think about your starting lineup right now, a third of it is out. I get that. And I get that Judge and Stanton are obviously MVPs, perennial all-stars. Harrison Bader had a very positive impact on the team. And I think he might be back today, or at least this series against Cleveland. But the other guys have to produce. And, I think it was going into last season, they hired Dylan Lawson as their hitting coach, fired longtime hitting coach Marcus Timms because, excuse me, the offense year before really struggled, especially in the playoffs. And it's like, I know we got off to a great start last year, kind of picked it up before the end of the season, but then we're struggled again in the playoffs, led the major leagues in runs scored, whatever the case may be. But I just think when it's been this bad for this long offensively, and it's like every time guys are out, no one else picks them up. Sure, they deserve the majority of the blame. I understand that. But I just think, what is this guy doing? If we're scoring 4 runs in 3 games and he clearly can't get the best out of these guys, then my question would be, what is he actually doing? And what is the purpose of him being here? Clearly there isn't one. So that would be my recommendation, as well as, like I've mentioned in nauseum all season, the Hickses, and I know he's injured right now, but the Donaldsons, the IKFs, the Calhouns, this is it. You have to go. And something else to explore, Austin Wells just kind of recovered from his injury. He's the Yankees' top catching prospects. He's actually going to be with Corey in Double-A Somerset. If he performs well, he deserves a call. Same thing with Ben Rort-Vert, who's like, I think, Michael, you just had looked him up or whatever and saw how jacked he was last year when they got him in the Donaldson trade. And he's been a ghost. Hasn't played 1 game for the Yankees, but came over in that trade. He's an option at backup catcher because Higashioka, we've seen it. Randomly, he'll run into one. But if you're going to hit a home run once a month and then strike out every other time, what's the point? So might be time to give someone else a chance there. So that's tough. Saturday was tough. That was a game where your pitching answered the call, and then in no way, shape, or form did the offense pick up the bell there. Just absolutely not. Yesterday, I would say you hope this is the height of the embarrassment. 15-2, the Rangers over the Yankees. You look at the kind of the summary here. You started out in a ditch and you never made it out of it. First inning, Josh Young, a grand slam, 368. Nestor, uncharacteristically wild. You don't usually see him struggling with control. He settled down after that for the next couple innings, and Yankees did get a RBI ground out by Oswald Peraza. But then, it has a couple other runners on, of course, couldn't get him in like we've seen all season long. And then Nestor gives up 3 straight home runs in the 5th inning to Nate Lau, Adolis Garcias, and John Heim. So that's 8-1. I mean, at that point, the way the offense has been going, everybody's turning off the game there. Everybody's calling it a day. That's pretty much what the team did because they didn't score a run till they got a bases loaded walk in the 9th inning. And obviously gave up 7 more runs, a Grossman single, a Young walk, a Heim double, a Durant single, and a Sandy Leon double to make it 15-1. And then obviously the Higgy walk made it 15-2. And you look at Albert Abreu, 1 inning, 2 hits, 6 runs, 4 walks. That's just giving up. That's waving the white flag, and that's a complete embarrassment to be part of the Yankee organization and put forth an effort like that. I think it's Ramirez. Is it Noah Ramirez or it's 2 1/3, 4 hits, 2 runs. Nick Ramirez, who had just gotten called up, journeyman, let up some more runs as well. But that is just so bad. And I'm not to say that the Rangers aren't going to be a good team. They might make the playoffs. I know Tony's been skeptical of them, but the talent's there. Of course, the DeGrom injury concern that the Mets had for all these years is now passed on to the Rangers, but that offense is churning. But at the end of the day, there's just no excuse for this whatsoever. And I would like to see somebody be held accountable. And if you're not going to fire the hitting coach right now, designate for Simon Hicks. There's clearly no point in keeping him on the roster. You have to do something to shake things up. 7 out of 10 this early in the season. You're really putting your back against the wall with tiebreakers. Technically, this is last place right now. And I believe Matthew has a couple thoughts on this, Michael.
Matthew 2T's coming in. Embarrassing, he says. Just can't do it. Can't have it. They look like complete ASS.
Now, what do you think?
Fucking little league team.
Now, Michael, what would be
Matthew
if it was one or the other? So my 2 suggestions, were the Hicks designate for assignment, fire the hitting coach. Which one do you think would be more effective? Honestly,
Hicks.
Just because it's like I don't care if you have a big contract, you're not guaranteed a spot in this roster. Is that because you want to send that message?
Exactly. To everyone.
Yeah.
Who cares?
100%.
Best man is playing. That's it. They could eat up that money.
Right. They're not going to feel it whatsoever. But like I said, let's do both though. You know what I mean? Let's really get after it. And my mom, right on the head, somebody has to take responsibility for these losses. We're just sick of it. And finally, a good note as Jay comes in here. Barnes, how'd you hit yesterday? Ended up with a 94. So I was happy with that. Could have definitely got a stroke or 2 better, but the tee shots were right on. So I was excited about that. The secondary chips, those were a little tough, the wet grass and whatnot. And did have a long putt on 18 to save par, which was nice. But let me tell you, if everybody saw Matt's 35-foot putt, literally, the whole course would have heard the gallery we would have had if we were all there to see it.
Yeah.
It was unbelievable on a par 5 to get that on the end. It's just unbelievable. And he was really getting the drives in the air, really putting some velocity into it. So overall, it was just great. First round of the season too, for Matt. Unbelievable. What a day. Those problems should have been addressed after last season. So, Michael, I know you appreciate that. It makes you smile in a way because every time
The
that
apple
we get
doesn't
off track,
fall far from the tree.
right? Every time we get off track, who's the first person to
You,
reel us back in? And here,
Donna.
my mom, she's upset about the Yankees, just like I am. This is what she says, and she's right.
Yeah.
It's too much of the same thing. And as Matt was just mentioning, so he was like getting his club, and I just was like, oh, well, I'm ready to go. I might as well just hit my putt. And of course, it's like a 25-foot putt that I make, and he missed it because he was getting his club in the cart. That's what he was referring to. You sent but the problem is, Mom, the wrong message was sent a while ago when you gave Boone and Cashman contract extensions, and especially Boone was right after that embarrassing loss that once again I was there for at Fenway Park in the wild card game in 2021. And it's just like there's nothing to back up keeping everything status quo here with the trajectory of the team since they were up 3-2 in the 2017 American League Championship Series. Everything has went downhill from there. And it didn't seem like anybody had to answer for this sweep in the American League Championship Series last year. And then here we are. Sure, you make it through April 1 game over 500, but it shouldn't have been like that. And I think it's just there needs to be more of a switch up here. And I think we're giving guys too many passes and too many breaks. And like one thing that made a lot of sense was getting rid of Glaber before the season started. And I know, it was tough, at the beginning of the, at the beginning of the season, he was doing well, but and Mark had said it, that was the time to trade him. And now he's slumping. And it's just like, I just feel like we just need new energy, and Volpe provides some of that. But when Peraza and Cabrera are struggling, there has to be other options, other alternatives, and none of those, were brought in this year. And when you're calling up, Willie Calhoun, and giving Jake Bauers a shot when you can't even score 3 runs, those things aren't going to help too much. So it's just a really tough situation right now. It's tough to navigate through. It's tough to not have a completely negative taste in your mouth. And we all hold our breath as we wait for the judge decision. But like I said, I just want what's best for him. We can't have any type of re-injury or anything like that would talk about something being detrimental. So as long as he's healthy, let's run him out there tomorrow. If he needs the extra 5 games off, that's fine. But the other guys got to start producing, and different strategy or whatever you need to do. And one thing, and I think me and Tony touched on this last week, is the strategy at the plate. I think a lot of times we see them early in the count. Oh, we want to see them throw one. And with them throwing one, they're throwing a strike right down the middle fastball. You're not even offering at it. And then you end up striking out either, looking or chasing a pitch that's in the dirt, and your best pitch, your best opportunity to do something with one of those pitches came early in the bat when you were just looking to take one. And it's like, enough of the just looking to take one. If the pitch is there, you got to be ready. There should be no sequence where swinging the bat is not an option. And I think that's what hurts them. And it's like, you got to be selective. Like, you got to swing at good pitches. Absolutely. But if it's there, it's go. There's no hesitation. There has to be pitch recognition. And there really is no excuse for it. And then Buffer says, my biggest fear is when the players return from DL, the Yankees might be too far back. Tampa is 8 games ahead of the Yankees at this moment. And well, that's why it starts tonight. It starts with Domingo Germán versus Cal Quantrill. 2 pitchers that have similar numbers this year. So at least from that perspective, you feel good. You're back at home, which is obviously a place that you've played so well since that stadium was built. So you feel good about that, and you just have to feel that guys are not going to keep continuing to struggle and keep looking this bad. We know Quantrill is a hittable pitcher, and it's time to just produce, and it's time for Domingo. I know we had that good start a couple starts ago, but let's go. Let's give us 6 innings, give us 2 earned, and let's give us a chance to win this game. And I think if he can go 6 innings and 2 earns, I think we could put up 4 or 5. I mean, we should be able to. I mean, Quantrill's not going to win the Cy Young. I don't think anybody's getting him confused for that. And then, my mom says, with this payroll, no excuses. Once again,
100%.
100%. But that falls on Brian Cashman for a bad allocation of funds. That's why they're in this situation, because when Hicks is making 10, Donaldson is making 25. That's $35 million for nothing. And then Stanton on the injured list, Rodon on the injured list, Montas on the injured list, Trevino on the injured list, Loaizaga, and there's still other guys on the injured list. They hear us?
Yeah.
All right. So, okay. Looks like we're back here. Yankees, Padres match are the 3 highest payrolls, and they're all slumping. Yeah. I mean, that's definitely true. Prefer, and the Mets couldn't even get on the field this weekend because of all the rain. But they did play Friday, and I want to say they lost Friday. I got to double check that. But I know the last 2 days were rained out. I mean, it just rained so much in this area. Over the weekend. So let's see. So Friday 4-0. They were shut out, rain shortened. So I wanted to see actually how many innings this game actually went. Let me just pull this up 1 second here. Okay, so 5 innings. The Braves score 4 in the 5th. The Mets only put up 3 hits. But kind of, what you would expect. They were just set back. Peterson versus Fried, with a struggling offense, just not going to get the job done. But the Mets finally will return to action today. Tony saying 5 innings, 5-0 on Friday. And what's the last one, Michael? Brutal. So he's feeling similar to the way I am right now. The Mets have a double header with the Braves today. 1:10, Steven Strider, his favorite guy, versus Reyes, who I'm not familiar with. I guess he's getting the call from the minor leagues here. Denny Reyes, 26 years old, from the Dominican Republic. And if you look at his numbers here, is just pitched out of the bullpen up to this point. And Tony's saying they would have hit the bullpen, and I'm feeling worse. Wow. So tough spot to be in for Tony. Second game, I guess there's a ray of hope. So that's going to get underway at 4:10. Tyler McGill versus Charlie Morton. And Morton's numbers are pretty good, but I think we've seen over the last couple of years, and obviously this always happens when a guy's getting up there in age, he could be inconsistent. So I think that's an opportunity to score some runs. Reyes might be the sacrificial lamb in game 1. I just don't see him going deep into this game, shutting down this Braves offense. And I think Strider will do that against this Mets offense. So I think you want to just go for the old split the 6s there, and kind of just reset and hope to get as many runs, on the board as you can. So we'll have to see, what happens, but that would be my prediction. I'm going to say they lose 4-0 in game 1 and then win game 2, let's say 5-3. Pete Alonso, though, in the first game, 0 for 5 with 5 strikeouts. Michael cheesing about that one. No?
Sounds about right.
And then for the Yankees here, I'm going to say, Herman does the 6 innings, the 2 earned, the 8 strikeouts, the 4 hits, the 1 walk. And then Anthony Rizzo, the only guy answering the bell right now, 3 for 4, including a 4th inning grand slam. And the Yankees are going to win this one 5-3 over the Guardians. So, ending that 3-game losing streak and hopefully starting a winning streak, because that's what you have to do now. That's how you have to make up ground. Braves smell blood in the water. Mets are shark bait, Prefer says.
Wow.
Michael, how did you get that
Perfect
stuck?
like that?
Yeah.
It's leaning on my face.
Oh, wow.
That's what I do for the show, guys. All right. Anything for the show.
But Michael, I mean, anything to offer here? How do we turn this around? How do we get the vibes up? Are the vibes coming up? I mean, what's going on here? Because I mean, it's bad on both sides.
Yeah, no, it's pretty weak. And it's funny because coming into the season, I think everybody thought these both teams were going to be so hot and flourishing at this point.
Yeah.
I just think it's still early. You go to October, so get Donaldson out. Don't even let him come back. Have Hicks out of here.
Right.
I don't know.
Hitting
Can't you
coach
try?
or no?
I mean, if Hicks is whack, then yeah, get a new hitting coach.
Yeah.
Try some more young guys. Why not, dude? What's the problem?
Yeah, but I mean, it's tough because Volpe has been hitting recently, but Peraza and Cabrera
turn the season
struggling.
around. Move the Yanks to Mexico City.
So I guess you let the young guys take their lumps, but Gleyber Torres and Anthony Rizzo and DJ LeMahieu need to be the catalyst of this offense, and especially if Judge ends up getting put on the injured list. Then it's heightened the need for that. So we'll have to see. Of course, you just start with one game at a time. It's going to be a beautiful night tonight, so there's just no excuse. And I really do think they are going to answer the call tonight.
This is a good one. This is a good take.
Tony's pretty lazy for not being in the studio today. What's your thoughts there, Michael?
Jay is funny. I know he's being funny. So Tony would have made it if he could. He tried to. He wanted to get the car checked out yesterday, but they couldn't get him in. Right
now, is this an emissions test?
I think so.
So we're gonna go state of New York call, basically.
Wow, shots fired back from Tony. Jay's pretty stoner for smoking weed while he's on the clock.
Wow, that's just a direct shot at Jay. Wow.
That's like straight. I'm at your home. I know what you do.
Wow. I don't even.
Renee's laughing even at this one.
Renee paying attention. That's how you
for
know
once.
It was funny.
And she even laughed at that a lot.
But in all seriousness, Michael, just to kind of wrap up the baseball conversation here.
Yeah.
Do you agree with me? The Mets split. Yankees get the job done. Honestly,
100%.
And what are we talking offense for the Yankees? They've scored 4 runs in the last 3 games. How many did they score tonight?
5.
And Rizzo grand slam, or you're kind of tight about it?
Dude, his stance is so whack too. It looks like he's lazy. Like he's just like.
He does crowd the plate, but I think it's because anything like out over the plate he wants to drive.
No, I think he's got to be the guy, right? There's no one else. Volpe, maybe.
Yeah, Volpe. Yeah, but even just setting the table, a single.
Yes.
And then steal second and third, and then hit a sac fly. Mm-hmm. 1 hit, scores 1 run. I mean, that should be enough. So it'll be interesting to see, but I do feel pretty good about that. So hopefully tomorrow, I'm trying my best here not to get too worked up. But
should the Yankees sign Trevor Bauer from Japan? No.
Trevor Bauer, sayonara, Tony. But let's go now to the world of the National Basketball Association.
The Bulls LeBron James at the buzzer. He banks in the 3, and the Lakers win the game.
All right. And speaking of that, a blowout, Michael. Game 6 victory over the Memphis Grizzlies, catapulting the Lakers
40
into the second round. A 40-point victory. This was on Friday night, 125-85. I mean, just complete embarrassment. D'Angelo Russell, who had been struggling scoring 31 points. So you think about where the Lakers started out this season at 2-10, and now are a series away from the Western Conference Finals. So you have to give them credit for that. You look at the box score in this one. Like I mentioned, Russell had those 31. LeBron, 22 points, 5 rebounds, 6 assists. And then you also got 16 points, 14 rebounds out of Davis, who's played big the entire series. You hit 15 3-pointers, 5 from Russell, 2 from LeBron, 3 from Jared Vanderbilt, 2 from Lonnie Walker, 1 from Malik Beasley. So that was setting the tone. That was silencing Dylan Brooks. It'll be interesting to see, what his future holds. But a great series win by the Lakers. And then the next thought for them was, who are we going to be playing in round 2? There was a game 7 yesterday, and that, of course, was between the Golden State Warriors and the Sacramento Kings. And sure enough, like Michael had expected, all series long, end of the day, the Warriors step up. They win it. They won the road games they need to win, including this one, 120-100. So taking out the Sacramento Kings, the dream season for them is over. Steph Curry, the first player in Game 7 history to score 50 points, including 7 3-pointers, also had 8 rebounds and 6 assists. Kevon Looney, 11 points, 21 boards.
Dude.
So doing his best Draymond Green circa 2014 performance.
I mean, Dennis Rodman's more appropriate.
Yeah, probably. Draymond, speaking of which, 8 points, 8 assists, 6 rebounds. Chuck Barkley, triple single. Klay Thompson had 16 points. Wiggins with 17 and 7 rebounds. Chokery. Lakers in 6. And that got to my next topic. It will be Lakers. It will be Warriors. So the first time they're meeting in a playoff scenario since the play-in game a couple seasons back. And of course, I agree with Chokery here as well. And I know, the Warriors were able to pull out some of these road wins, but I think the Kings, the Lakers, it's a completely different animal.
So is Memphis than Golden State.
Not this season.
I think so. I think Memphis is
numbers
is trash.
Well, they were trash last series, but
John Morant can't shoot. Steph Curry's a different animal.
But you don't think they were trash because of the job that the Lakers did on them? I mean, it has to have some effect, Michael. Otherwise, why don't they just play on stilts?
No, they did. The Lakers stepped up, but don't discredit Golden State. Don't be sad when it happens.
1 tomorrow in Golden State. Yep, 10 o'clock on TNT. That's going to be a fun series. Anytime you can get LeBron and Steph. So excited to see how that one's going to play out. But I'm telling you, the road woes will continue for the Golden State Warriors, 11-30 during the regular season on the road. So something to keep an eye out for. And then also yesterday we saw the Heat 108-101 over the Knicks. Pretty disappointing here for the Knicks. You had an 11-point lead after the first quarter. And they just were not able to get this one done. I mean, you look at the scoring for them. Barrett, 26 points, 10 of 20 from the floor. Obi Toppin, 18 points, 8 rebounds. I would imagine that's a career playoff high. Mitchell Robinson, 7 points, 14 rebounds. You had 25 from Brunson, 11 of 23. Hart had 10. But Miami outscored the Knicks by 12 in the second half, 6 in the second quarter. But Jimmy Butler rolling his ankle at the end of the game. So I mean, what are your thoughts here? Any renewed optimism, Michael, despite the loss, about the Butler ankle concern?
No, I don't think so.
Michael.
No.
I'm saying, like, that's why you're saying.
No.
He's Michael. He's going to play.
Yes.
He's not going to miss any time.
And they're going to win.
Play just as well.
I said it.
But how could you play just as well on a bum ankle, though?
Because it's drugs.
What drugs?
Painkillers.
You think he's just going to load up on painkillers?
I don't know. I think he's got that working. I think the staff there is amazing as well in Miami. The longevity of players that they've had there, that have gone on to have 20-year seasons is high.
Right.
So I think they've got something, and he'll be ready. I'm not worried.
Will the Garden be ready tomorrow?
Yes.
Do they even up the series?
Yes.
All right. So, I mean, that's something, Michael, no?
Yeah, I mean, it's something, but they're gonna lose, dude. I said it. I don't like this team. It's just like not, I don't know. I'm not as excited as everyone else.
Yeah. I mean, I just think
I need Giannis here. I need Zion here.
maybe Giannis will be here. Do you think there's a chance for Giannis or no?
He's not happy in Milwaukee.
But is he okay. Yeah. I don't know why I was thinking Zion for a second. You really think though? You really think like he's are we lagging really bad?
Yeah, I wonder why.
Renee, can we get a sound check though? Like, I wonder if it's just video or
Maybe it's my laptop.
here fine, no problem, no lag. Very lag. But sound and video. Oh, very lag. Okay. What do we got for the comment? Prefer probably all over it. Barnes,
Yeah.
lagging like a mofo. I don't
know.
even see Wi-Fi signals. Any thoughts here? Give me something, Michael.
Tough.
We appreciate everybody hanging in there.
Let's see if we can go the last.
We're gonna go last resort, the wired connection.
I have we have only because the thing is the battery I have is only okay. We have 50%.
Are we okay?
Let's see. We're gonna.
Looks good for me.
Here we go.
Okay, I think we are back. So Tony with the assist.
It was the
there.
Wi-Fi, I think.
But what I was gonna get to, 2 games tonight. You got 7:30, game 1, Sixers Celtics. One thing that I'm a little confused about here, Michael. Why is Boston 10-point favorites?
Joel's hurt.
He's not gonna play?
He is, but he's hurt.
What's the injury?
I don't even know. Let's see.
Oh, it says doubtful, but I don't know. They don't always update this.
Considered to be more serious.
LCL. So that's a knee injury.
Yeah.
Okay.
Grade 1 LCL sprain.
Boy, that just takes the whole juice out of it. But this is when you're gonna say Willis Reed. He's gonna no.
I don't know, man. He's gonna play. He's gonna be fine, but I don't know if they have enough then.
Out game 1, Rick and Dave said today. So Tony hitting it right on the head for NBA, which is surprising.
Never see that from him. He's never nailing it on the head.
So I guess he's not playing, or you're still gonna doubt your boys and say he's gonna end up suiting up.
No, he's done then. It's tough.
Wow.
He's gonna come to Miami.
So you think done for the series or just done
No, for this game.
And this is gonna be like the Lakers Grizzlies game 6 or no?
Mm,
Or you could see everybody's
rallying James Harden.
Yeah,
Maybe
Shake.
flashes back to Houston.
Maxey,
Yeah.
Harris.
Yeah.
I mean, there's still horses there.
Yeah. No, they have a good team.
What is your prediction though?
Game winner Harden.
Really?
Yeah. 97
90s
94.
basketball.
97 94.
Game winner at the buzzer.
At the buzzer, does this whole hand
Yeah.
signal thing.
I mean, listen, I think one thing that I understand there was the run to the NBA finals last year. But the Celtics, they've shown us that they're inconsistent in the playoffs. And this is a spot where they're expected to step up. They're expected to take care of business with Embiid out. And I could see them coming up short here. So I'm going to say 105-101. Harden, 47 points, looking like the beard in Houston. We do have game 2, the second half of this doubleheader, 10 o'clock on TNT, between the Suns and the Nuggets. The Nuggets, taking game 1 here, 4.5-point favorites here at home. Are you expecting the Suns to even up this series or the Nuggets to go up 2-0, Michael?
I was very impressed with the Nuggets, but I see the Suns tying it up.
tying and then winning like the series? Or no?
Yeah. Kevin Durant signed a lifetime contract
With Nike.
Yeah,
only,
that's
what, third player?
third player, LeBron
Michael,
and Michael.
Durant. Yeah.
And that's a guaranteed championship this year.
Wow. Really?
When you do something like that, yeah, Nike, they're gonna make it happen. Contact silver, contact officials.
But what do you see them doing differently in this game that they didn't do in game one? Like, what is the key to, evening up the series?
Playing the pick and roll, playing Jokic.
Do you double them? I mean, they lost.
You got to
by
just
18.
talk to Ayton and be like, dude, you got to step up, bud.
Yeah.
Like, come on.
You've never been a big Ayton guy, I feel like.
No. Luka, how are you? Same draft.
Yeah.
Imagine this team with Luka too.
That is crazy. Yeah.
I don't know. You like Denver a lot.
No, this is what I'm going to say. Suns in 7.
Wow.
Every team holds home court till game 7, like we're going to see in the Rangers Devils, but we'll talk about that in a second. Road team, Suns win game 7.
Love it.
So, some interesting stuff here. One thing I just don't like is the scheduling. I think I heard they were talking about it where there's going to be like 3 days off between games 2 and 3 in some of these series, 4 days off, just because they want to line up days with their TV partners. And it's like, you can't have more than 2 days. 2 days off, I think, is still ridiculous, but you definitely can't have more than that. It's time to change that. So I think, as Michael would say, Adam Silverman needs to step up here. So we'll see. But I think tonight, I'm going to say 120 to 115. Jokic 40-point triple-double. Nuggets go up 2-0, going to Phoenix.
Wow.
What's the margin for you for the Suns tonight?
50-point Durant display. 10-point win with free throws,
Wow. And I forgot, did you say 7 in this one or no?
Yeah, we'll go 7.
7, yeah.
Definitely.
So definitely a good series, lots of talent. A lot of good series if you think about it.
Yeah.
I know obviously the NBA is struggling for us a little bit, but
yeah,
if you think about all the talent in this series, the Lakers series, even the Celtics series once Embiid's healthy. So something to keep an eye out for sure. But let's go now to the world of the National Hockey League.
Here's Matthews. Scores! Patrick goal!
My goodness, this is a great shot. Big hit on the far side by McCarr. He flattens Jordan Stahl. Oh my goodness.
Gets the top right back. Terrified and robbed by Shesterkin. That's brilliance from Igor Shesterkin.
It's a breakaway to win it in overtime. McDavid scores the winner in overtime.
All right. So season on the line Saturday for the New York Rangers. You had game 6 in the Garden. You had Brownies. You had Tony. You had Michael. You had Renee. You had Tony having a couple. And it was quite the performance from the New York Rangers, really coming off 3 lifeless performances in a row. And just right away, you felt like they got to work here. After, halfway through the first period, they did let up a goal to Lazar. So the Devils jump out to that 1-0 lead, but you could tell they're playing physical, playing aggressive. And then right before the horn in period 1, Chris Kreider, who hadn't been heard from since, I think it was game 3, I want to say, with a power play goal. And I know that bite is floating around somewhere. His 6th of the series, tying the game up at 1. So you had some renewed optimism going into period 2. Scoreless half of the first of the second period, and then Mika Zibanejad back from the dead. First goal of the series, assisted by Kreider and Tarasenko, made it 2-1 Rangers. And then speaking of Tarasenko, about 8 minutes later, his 3rd goal of the series, assisted by Kreider and Fox, who has 8 assists this series, made it 3-1. 2-goal lead. We know Tony doesn't like it. All of that.
Yeah.
But it worked out pretty good because Barclay Goodrow, third period, 7.5 minutes in, his first goal of the series, assisted by VC, his first assist of the series, 4-1. Braden Schneider, also his first goal of the playoffs here, made it 5-1. And then Dawson Mercer picking up a meaningless power play goal about 5 minutes or so left in that third period to make it 5-2. And that ends up being the final score here. So the Rangers finally solve the riddle of Schmid, who was pulled late in this game. Vanacek got 2 minutes of ice time. And I have not checked, but I would imagine they're still going to go with Schmid for game 7, but who knows? I mean, I'm just trying to see if we have any notes. Okay, yes. So Schmid will patrol the home crease Monday in game 7 against the Rangers. Amanda Stein of the Devils official site reports. So obviously had done a great job up until this point against the Rangers. So they're going to trot him out there one more time. And I know Vanacek got lit up the first 2 games, but it's just kind of interesting. I mean, the guy, goes 33-11 during the regular season, and then the coach just completely bails on him, after the first 2 games. And I know he did give up 10 goals. I get that. But I wonder how, and I know it worked out for those 3 games in a row until last game. But I wonder how that played over in the locker room. You kind of felt like, they're bailing on him for this rookie. And like I said, he's had success, but now that window is open, after this 5-2 win. Michael, any highlights besides, the Brownies, Matt's late appearance, Tony engaged, you cheesing, Renee not paying attention? I mean, anything else?
That was it, dude. That's it. Schmidt is starting.
Yeah.
We know Tony.
But there had to have been, you can't give me something, some funny little thing.
Jay was hilarious.
Okay, well, was he paying attention or no?
Yeah, he was paying attention. After he ate a lot of food, he was just like stuffed coma,
like falling asleep.
Yeah, ready to fall asleep.
Okay. Did Matt have a couple late night wangs when he came?
Yes, Matt obviously indulged at the end.
Banging.
I forgot if he had a wing. I'm not sure if he had a wing or a slice of pizza or a brownie. I can't remember.
Beverly's?
No, it was Gino's.
How was Gino's?
It's all right.
It's not Beverly's.
It's not. It's good for Bridgeport takeout.
But you know what do you think I'm going to say to that?
Why didn't you just go to
or just why are you getting Bridgeport takeout?
Yeah, exactly. Because, we were here. Jay was nice enough to order and have it all ready for us. It was really nice. But it's good takeout. That's what we said. Like if you're
learning
home,
experience.
They've gotten it before. If you get takeout, you're kind of, asking for it really.
Yeah. It's amazing though. We had it the other, I guess the previous game when I was over there, I guess, what was that last, was it Thursday? Yeah, I think it was Thursday. When I was over there and I had it, and it's like, boy, it's Beverly's good. It's like hard to backtrack.
It's so good. So I saw someone drop their pizza on the way out. I don't know.
Tony's saying coming in hot. Does that mean he's coming up the stairs, or he's calling, or?
I don't know. We'll see. We're either going to hear him because he has such heavy...
What's your guess, though? Is it a call or is it a burst into the studio? I mean, he did say 11 o'clock ETA.
I don't know. We're going to have to see. It's 11:02, so he's late.
Yeah. But before we talk about, obviously game 7 tonight, at Prudential Center, just wanted to mention yesterday, I think we saw the biggest upset in NHL history. The Boston Bruins blow a 3-1 series lead, a 3-1 lead yesterday, or 3-2 lead, my mistake, and fall to the Panthers in overtime. Carter,
he's in the studio.
Verhaeghe,
he's here
with the game winner in overtime. As our Super Ranger fan is here, Anthony Materiello. But I was watching the end of the third into overtime live, and I just could not believe Boston. And I did allude to it, so I'll give myself some credit there. I did say I think they are going to fall in game 7, but to waste a 65 win season, that one has to hurt pretty good. I think we all can agree on that. So I was so shocked, and now so much is up in the air. You saw the frustration on their head coach's face after the game in the post game. Patrice Bergeron, who's been a 19-year veteran of the team, his status uncertain for next season as well. And it's just so ironic. Florida, the great season last year, they lose Huberdeau. They struggle through most of this season, barely get in the playoffs. Obviously, Chuck, or however you say his name, had a good year. It's just so surprising that this is the year they win the playoff series, not last year when I believe they were approaching 60 wins or had 60 wins. That was just unbelievable. But it really just shows the unpredictableness, of the Stanley Cup playoffs, that anything can happen at any moment. And I know you weren't dialed in on this one, Michael, but tell me that you didn't get a little chuckle after you saw the final score.
Oh, I was super excited. Boston losing, that's it.
And I think it speaks to maybe a little bit of demise, of the Boston franchises. You think about it. Red Sox in shambles. Pats, no quarterback in shambles since Brady left. Celtics haven't been able to get over the hump since Doc had the Gatorade bath in 08.
Mm-hmm.
And then here the Bruins haven't won a championship 10 years or more. I think it was 2013. Oh, yeah. So 10 seasons, whatever. What's with the dark vibe we got on me right now?
I don't know. The wide looks dark right now.
Like Barnes in the darkness?
Barnes in the dark, dude.
Kind of sick or no?
I'll fix up
She'll fix it.
But obviously, it was definitely nice to see that. Do we have anything? Do we have decimals for Tony over there?
Yeah,
or
he
no?
should be good.
Decibels?
Are we
Can
good?
you hear
Are we
me?
good?
Yes. Are we
Okay.
good? Okay.
Yeah.
Yes, we're good.
Did you catch any of this?
The Boston game?
Yeah.
Yeah, I watched the whole thing yesterday.
Whole thing. Wow.
Dude,
After Vidanta,
After Vidanta, dude.
the
First of
family
all-
was locked in.
Yeah. When I'm home, they
They're
Yeah,
like,
do
it's like
whatever
their
he does.
newfound love. I feel like.
well, my dad is just hyped, I think, because I'm sure without me there, my mother probably controls the TV.
Okay, and she's
So
not
it's
putting
just
on
like
golf.
cooking channel,
Yeah.
Hallmark channel.
Right,
you know?
right. Okay.
So my dad's pretty riled. But yeah, dude. Also, Vidanta, the coverage, PGA golf, and then all of a sudden the other tournament was on, and it kind of threw me for a whirl a little bit,
Which
dude.
tournament?
In something with an S or something, whatever the other tournament
Singapore.
was.
Live?
No. There was another PGA event.
There was?
Yeah, dude. It was on right after.
Or sure wasn't it this? Was it the senior tour?
It could have been.
I think it was the senior tour. Were you watching it on Golf Channel?
Yeah, all of a sudden,
Yeah.
1 o'clock, the coverage went over to this other tournament. I'm like, what the hell's going on?
Oh, because then
and then they went to
Vidanta was
CBS.
on NBA or
CBS, yeah.
exactly.
But anyway, so Bruins, first of all, dude, what a surprise, honestly.
I did call it.
Dude, yeah, of course you did. But dude, honestly, an outrageous game. Dude, even the game tying goal, but I want to say Verhage or Montour. Yeah. He had 2 goals that game. The
Empty net.
defenseman, dude. Yeah. On the empty netter to have that angle and to get that rebound and to, get it past Boston's defense. That stadium was, I've never seen more people disappointed and shocked.
Just sitting there. Like Brady on the field after losing to the Giants.
And dude, that was the problem, dude. Boston really took it for granted.
Exactly.
For granted, I should say. The Panthers are not the better team. You look at even the stat sheets for a lot of these games. Boston, outshot them, out-hit them, did better on the power play, won more faceoffs, had more puck possession. But I'm telling you, the Bruins just took them for granted. Let the Florida Panthers have a dog in this fight and just let them kind of limp their way into the series. And that was really all summed up in Game 7 because Boston should have won that shit. But again, they were just too cocky, the hubris or whatever, the overlook, didn't expect, there's only a minute left. They're not going to score. They score within 30 seconds. Overtime, same deal. They just let this Panthers team hang around. And, I mean, obviously tipped your hat a little bit to Florida at that point because they played physical enough to pester the Bruins when it counted most and obviously found the back of the net. So, I mean, what an outrageous way for a team like the Bruins, the President's Trophy curse, the most games within one season curse lives on here, Brian. We were talking about that when the playoffs started.
How long has it been, though?
For the Presidents?
Yeah.
I want to say 2013 with the Blackhawks.
Okay, to win a championship.
Yeah.
Wow.
And then the last 2 teams to beat the single season record didn't make it past the first round. I think it was the Red Wings back in the 90s and the Lightning in the early 2000s. So pretty crazy that these stats still kind of live on and stay true. History repeats itself.
And I know he didn't play that well the previous couple games, but what do you think about the decision to go with Swayman over Olmark there?
Honestly, I think Swayman was the good choice.
Okay.
Honestly, Olmark did make some big mistakes. I think the end of game 6, maybe game 5, total flub by him. He seemed a little shook. But it's crazy to think what the Bruins could look like in the next year or two. You mentioned Patrice Bergeron being an unrestricted free agent. He also disclosed that he's been playing with a herniated disc,
so he could retire.
He may be looking at retirement. David Krejci, I know too, another center from the team, looking at retirement. And then who knows about Brad Marchand? I think Marchand will probably continue to play. Taylor Hall will still continue to play. A lot of those guys probably still will. But will they re-sign Tyler Bertuzzi, who had a great postseason for them, honestly? So I don't know. We'll see. But it's a shame because I mean, what the Bruins brought to the table, how their season went, and for it to end in such utter disappointment at TD Garden too. I mean, their record at home was absolutely outstanding, all season. So it was crazy fall from grace, dude.
And I mean, does anybody deserve the lion's share here or no? For them not winning this series, or
what do you mean? What?
Like of blame, I'm saying.
Anyone to blame?
Yeah, specifically.
It's got to be I mean, at that point, it's just the team as a whole. I mean, someone's got to step up and kind of be like, hey, man, like, yeah, like we're the 1 seed. They're the 8th seed. Like, doesn't matter, dude. Like, we have to come in here. Like, it's like we're playing the Rangers. Like, we're playing the Maple Leafs. Like, we're playing a great team. Like, all of them just were complacent and just thought they can kind of breeze through the Panthers, unfortunately. And they played great. I mean, they had some phenomenal goals. You saw it throughout the series, but again, just taking the Panthers for granted and overlooking them. And the Panthers played exactly into that hand, Like I said, they played physical. They hit Boston where it hurt a lot, which is on the scoreboard too. So, I mean, overall, it was just, I don't know if you could blame one single person. I mean, obviously, in terms of mentality, you got to look at the coach at least.
I was going to say, could he possibly be one and done?
I don't really think so. I mean, he coached these group of guys. He coached the Bruins so well this entire season. The Bruins really never faltered all year long. You didn't see a poor stretch out of them. And I mean, to bring that through the entire season, I mean, takes a good coach, takes a well-coached team. So there's definitely some good there. And plus, I mean, like, even if he didn't like necessarily, I guess, coach that well into this series, you still have such veteran players on the Bruins. They should know better anyway. So I don't think the coach, whose name has escaped me,
Jim Montgomery, was assistant with St. Louis before coaching Dallas.
Yeah. So I really don't think you can. I don't think it's a fireable offense here.
All I'm saying is, though, point to, I want to say it was the 2000 and I think it was 2007 Chargers. I'll have to look this up, but RIP, but Marty Schottenheimer was the coach of the year, 14-2, bye week,
right? First round
out, done. Norv Turner obviously didn't end up working out with Norv, even though they did get to the AFC Championship game eventually. But I'm just saying, crazier things could happen. And who's to say, they offer up a king's ransom that Barry Trotz wouldn't trot down from the front office in Nashville. You just have to be the GM this summer
Trotz.
And just bring him in, win. No, I mean, they were pretty quick with the Cassidy trigger last year. I mean, why not?
Yeah, very true, dude. But I don't know. And I guess
fans are getting restless.
Dude, again, I cannot believe like the look on people's faces last night. Yeah. And they kept cutting to these two like Panther fans in the crowd too, like so excited. Oh my God, such disappointment, dude. It's ridiculous. Is that
the biggest first round upset in NHL history?
I can't speak for the history of the NHL.
Since you've been watching?
Since I've been watching it, for sure, Brian.
Yeah, that was unbelievable. And I know it wasn't as big of an upset, but the defending champion, Colorado Avalanche, losing 2-1 yesterday to the Kraken.
Right.
After winning 2 out of the first 3 of the series, losing the last 3 of 4. What in Grubauer being the savior? I mean, what's your thoughts there?
Yeah. So honestly, I think this was at least for me anyway. Also a really big upset. I guess not as big as the Bruins, but up there. Again, you talk about Philip Grubauer. I don't know if you recall, but he backed up Kemper for Colorado last year. So I don't know if there was just some bad blood there. Maybe he always thought he was a better goaltender. He honestly really isn't great. Look at his numbers. This season wasn't like phenomenal. But he still came up big for this playoff spot. I want to say, like, I think maybe another example of a team being overlooked in the Kraken. But honestly, I think it's more so of the Kraken, their ability and what they did with how they proved themselves this series. Again, you look at stats where, maybe the Panthers didn't have, even from last night, I think they out-hit the Avalanche like 43-20. They had way more block shots than them. Their defense was such a strong suit. And I think that's why Grubauer was also kind of highlighted, because he had such a good defense in front of him. Again, like holding the Avalanche to one goal. I think Rantanen scored for them last night? Yeah, on the power play too. Like, I mean, their defense was so great. And it's another great example. Like, again, like Florida did with Boston. Seattle knew that the Avalanche is a better team on paper here. One thing they have for them is speed, right? So what does Seattle do? They just start laying bodies left and right. They finish their checks. They hit hard, over the course of the series. Avalanche are getting tired. You can tell by the way they were skating last night. They were certainly hurting a little bit. Their legs are a little tired. They certainly slowed down. You look at their pace of play from game 1 to game 7. I think even Jay mentioned the other night too, when he was watching, he was like, wow, I can't believe, like, I was watching Colorado. They're so quick. By this game 7, they didn't look that quick, and to hold them to one goal is so phenomenal. I think Bjorkstrand had 2 goals for Seattle. It was huge for him. I think he used to be on Florida too. But I mean, I just think what a huge step up for the Kraken. Second year in the league here. Already kind of making a splash as a new team, which is great for hockey. We saw obviously this success with the Knights too, since they've been in the league. So huge tip of the hat to the Kraken to defeat the Avalanche, who you're defending champions. You'd expect more out of them, especially like they had a sneaky good season. They ran into some trouble, some injury, but at the end of the day, they are certainly one of the favorites to make the cup. Shame to see Georgiev have a tough loss there.
Finally gets a shot.
Yeah, he got his shot. He had a great year, top goaltender in the league. Even this series too, only give up 2 goals isn't crazy. They were good shots, 2 good opportunities. It wasn't like he really made a mistake or anything. But yeah, dude, huge step for the Kraken. Maybe I'll get a jersey this offseason.
Wow.
Dude, they're dope jerseys.
It sets up an interesting series with them and the Stars.
Yeah, dude.
Which get underway tomorrow, as well as the Panthers and the Maple Leafs. But of course, the only game on the schedule tonight.
Oh boy.
Game 7, Prudential Center. The prize on the line, a date with the Carolina Hurricanes in the second round of the Stanley Cup playoffs. Just before you came in, we were recapping Saturday's win, which was really a long time coming, given the struggles of the previous, 3 games, the offense firing on all cylinders, the return of Zibanejad, Chris Kreider as well, and some new guys, Goudreau and Schneider scoring, which was kind of unexpected, but I just feel like confidence-wise, their confidence and then fading confidence on the side of Schmid, I feel like that victory, was just so valuable, and they really can use it to catapult them here in Game 7.
Yeah, man. I don't know, like, the decision to pull Schmid kind of surprised me.
Late, you're saying?
Yeah, especially so
for 2
late
minutes,
too.
Why? What's the point?
I don't know if they were just I don't know. I don't know, maybe if something was ailing him. Who knows? But if nothing was ailing him, from my, perspective, if I'm the coach, right? Like, you don't want the score to be run up on him because he'll lose some confidence, but also pulling him, doesn't feel good, I could imagine, especially for him to be so young. He's never been pulled from playoff games, never barely even started playoff games. So, I don't know. We'll see how that kind of affects the goaltender. But again, talk about the Devils, like, showing a weak spot that the Rangers should really take advantage of, like, i.e. tonight. Would be just to challenge him immediately, just try and get pucks on net. But in terms of the Rangers level of play, I think they did a great job. Finally, you saw some offense, some well-needed offense from the power play, from the 5-on-5. You mentioned Schneider. Schneider was all over the place. He had some great checks on Saturday. You know, we saw one against Timo Meyer, I believe. You got the goal too. He was just all over the ice. Great game for him, for the young defenseman. Goudreau too. We've been talking about the fourth line, I feel like, this entire series, and how well they've been doing, how many opportunities they've had. It was good to see someone like Goudreau find the back of the net, especially after he fought. I forget who he fought. He fought someone in game 5. But he's been scrappy. He's been, skating hard. So to find some success in him is good. And, you finally got something as a Benajad who, right before that goal hurt his hand. I think blocked a shot, hit his hand, and he was just like fucking clearly struggling on the bench with the spray and everything. And like literally like a minute later, he's got like a nice wrist shot in front of the net. So that was a huge goal for him, especially for someone who's been so quiet in this series. Obviously, Kreider getting back to business in front of the net on the power play. Love to see that too. Definitely, some things to improve upon. I didn't mention yet, but Panarin could definitely be doing better. Again, he's not, I guess, like the worst part of the team right now, in my opinion. I think it's Patrick Kane. I mean, he's been so quiet. Not only has he been quiet, but he's just also been making mistakes.
But we're still talking about that hip.
Yeah, I don't know, dude. If he's hurt, then get him out, dude. Like, at what point, like having him on the ice for some plays has been a liability.
Right.
We saw a couple whiffs from him. He doesn't play defense very well. We know that characteristically, historically, he doesn't play great defense, but still at this point, like, you got to step it up. It's the playoffs. Like, do something, especially if you're not going to be going on offense. Like, you got to offer something to us. And in my opinion, I mean, yeah, I'm sure got a great attitude in the clubhouse and everything, but come on, give us a break here and do something, at least an assist. So I want to see you have a nice pass, nice setup, set someone up, But I mean, hey, for tonight, I mean, if that offense keeps going and our defense stays the same too, we had such great defense. I mean, Mike and I were sitting on the couch. Of course, Mike's like chirping me too, like really playing into it. It was pretty funny, dude.
After the first goal, what was he getting serious?
It was like it was
the
Michael.
Look.
It was just like stream of consciousness with Michael, with just like talking about like what's going on. Oh, we're nervous. Rangers are scared.
But while not paying attention though at the same time.
No, I would say he was engaged. Like when the big hits happened, like he was like, oh, dude.
All right. So in and out.
And he's like, oh, the Devils are so good. Like he's and they were, dude. They had, especially from the get-go, like we know they scored first. They had such like sustained offensive shifts where the Rangers looked like they were, on their heels, back in their own zone, defending a lot. But on to that point, they did defend really well. Shesterkin came up huge. The block shots by all around the team. I mean, the defense has been great. And to see the offense finally come around. I mean, I think that's going to be the key here, is finding that nice balance. They played physical too. Trouba put Nico Hischier on his ass too, getting a penalty for it, not caring. I mean, I think that was huge. Captain against captain. Trouba not backing down. I mean, that was like Trouba we saw last year in the playoffs. Like, I want to see that again tonight. And I'm excited, honestly. I was like super happy that Renee and Mike came over. It was just nice to have like Devils people, honestly, like to be riled and stuff like that. Good atmosphere. Jay was hanging, dude. It was a good time.
Yeah. And I was gonna mention about you mentioned how the Devils scored first, and obviously Rangers end up prevailing and outscore them 4-1 from that point. Do you think that it's different tonight because obviously the Rangers playing on the road here, that it's team to score first, great chance of winning, or do you think that doesn't really hold too much weight, or is it only important for the Rangers because they're the road team?
In my opinion, I don't think it holds that much importance. I mean, the playoffs are pretty crazy. I mean, the number 1 seed, the best team in the league, just got knocked out. Like literally anything could happen. It's game 7 here. I would expect a back and forth. Like last game too. I mean, the Devils scored first. We ended up winning. It will be a different animal being away. I will say, very impressed with the Rangers fans at the Garden. I mean, the Garden was absolutely rocking.
After you called them out.
Yeah, absolutely. They were all listening.
Yep.
All 30,000 of them.
There you go.
It was really nice to see because like we were saying, like, it was just quiet. I feel like previous games, and they were just on top. of the Devils, and that's what we need to kind of get to the Devils a little bit. We need a fan base that can kind of chirp them, because this team has never been here before. It's never been a winner go home game for the Devils ever. Like for a lot of these guys individually and for the team as a whole, they've never been in this position. You got to play on that. Rangers fans have showed up a lot to the Prudential Center this series, so I would expect to see that too tonight. I want things to get ugly, dude.
If they're able to put, let's say, 2 goals across in the first 8 minutes, do you think Schmid gets pulled?
In the first 8 minutes, yeah, probably. I mean, it just seems like they're tentative with Schmid a little bit. Again, talk about someone who's never been in this position before. I mean, neither of the goaltenders have. And it is so interesting why they're so tentative with Schmid. Again, the last game, pulling him for so late in the game, it was very odd to me. But hey, Schmid's been their guy. He showed up big, so he deserves a shot. But yeah, I could see them again. Game 7. I mean, you don't want to take any chances here, dude.
Yeah, and it just, I think it's interesting, and I get it because, like I had said earlier before you got here, that the first 2 games, Vanecek gave up 10 goals, but it's like I don't, even if let's say they end up pulling Schmid, Vanecek comes in, plays well, but they lose, is like, how can he, after getting benched during the playoffs, how could he come back? I don't know what. Oh, okay, just a wire adjustment there, Michael. How could he come back next season? Everything's hunky dory, no problem. Is it he kind of can't come back now because of
Vanecek?
Yeah.
I don't know. Again, it's just a kind of a precarious situation with Blackwood. I mean, he was their starter.
Yeah, he's definitely gone.
There's no way.
Yeah.
I would imagine Vanecek in the position of being a youthful goaltender, understanding maybe the position that he was in, the team was in, you gotta take it with a grain of salt and just be professional about it. Yeah, you gave up 10 goals in the first 2 games.
Mm-hmm.
You have no experience at all in this scenario. Neither does this other guy, Schmid. Let's just try him out, see what happens. And again, you want to be a good teammate. He should be like Schmidt, great, good job.
So you're almost seeing it more as a Louis Domingue thing from last year, how it's it was see you later. It didn't really matter.
Right.
For I guess Jari.
Yeah.
Going
and then Vanecek wasn't even supposed to be there, really,
Yeah.
dude. So he should have been just grateful for the ride. He still had a phenomenal season. He's a big reason why the Devils were there. And they made the executive decision. I'm sure a tough decision at that, but ultimately it was the right decision. I mean, they're here in Game 7, the Devils, because of Schmid, not because of Vanecek. So
right. Yeah. But it's definitely interesting. Such a big game tonight. Matthews saying, Anthony, you look beautiful.
Thank you, Matthew. I really appreciate it. I got the jersey on, dude. Pumped for the game, and I hope you can come and hang out. Jay said wherever we're watching it, he'll show up too. So I don't know if you guys have a plan. If you talked about that.
No, didn't talk about it.
Haven't talked about it yet.
My crib is obviously always open, 8:00.
And he also says the Staten Island glow radiates off your face. I shall be there.
Thank you, Matthew. You know what it's like, when you're on the island, you're by the water and the beach and the ocean. It's nice and stuff,
There's no ocean or island there.
You just get the glow.
Just port.
I shall be wherever we watch it.
Yeah, that's right. Need you, Maddie. Need you. Mike was making fun of Maddie and I when we were celebrating goals and stuff.
They were shaking hands.
Yeah,
dude.
Come on, Michael. Come on. Port Jeff gotta go.
Dude, you should have seen Renee was actually rooting for the Devils and stuff.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow, there you go. Jersey strong.
It was dude, it was quite the scene, man.
Classy handshake.
Yeah, dude.
Very classy. But when it comes down to it, Tony, what's your prediction for tonight, just in terms of a score and just what you expect to see?
I expect to see a hardly fought game for sure. I think it's gonna be close. I think it's gonna be tight from the get-go. Both of these teams, I know I kept preaching that the Devils haven't been here before. They don't know what it's like, but I think the Devils back against the wall here. They're gonna rise to an occasion for sure. They have a phenomenal, youthful team, a great leader in Jack Hughes. Timo Meier, someone who's been super quiet this entire series. I think he's gonna make some type of splash tonight, honestly. Andres Palat, too, is someone to look out for. He's someone who's been in this scenario before with the Lightning, has succeeded and overcome, a game 7, has won the cup before. So I would expect both teams the physicality to heighten for sure. On the Ranger side of things, we've been seeing Miller make great plays. Zibanejad, possibly one of the greatest two-way players, I think, in the league at this point. He's been all over the puck, too. Trouba, physicality. Gaudreau with the physicality. Schneider, getting his nose, wetting some plays here. Adam Fox, I think, is someone we're going to see from tonight. He's done a great job offensively as a defenseman. Great job in blocking shots and hits. Hasn't seen a lot of the score sheet, I feel like, since like game 2, game 3. So I think he will kind of show up on the score sheet tonight. And I want to say this is going to be like very reminiscent of game 7 last year against the Penguins. Rangers win this one 3-2, double overtime.
Wow. And who hits the game winner?
Adam Fox.
Adam Fox.
From the point, clean.
I like the Fox game winner. I'm going to say actually in regulation, 3-2. I'm going to say Kreider and Zibanejad in the first. Devils answer back with 2 Jack Hughes goals in the second and early in the third. But they will get the game winner by Fox. Third period. On to the second round.
Wow.
Deja vu all over again, as Yogi would say. Hurricanes, Rangers. You can't beat it.
I like our chances against the Hurricanes. Let me tell
Love
you.
Love it to win everything now.
But let's focus on today. Let's focus on tonight.
Yeah, but let's also focus on
Tonight.
everything. But obviously, good stuff there for sure. Going to be something, and I'm sure it'll be a packed house at the Prudential Center.
Oh, yeah, at the Rock.
Do we have a prediction for Michael on the way out here?
5-2 Devils.
Wow.
Commanding.
And what's going
laughter.
to be the
Left.
dialogue on your part? Let's say it's flip-flop, 5-2 Rangers. What's the thought process?
Wow.
The response.
Young team. Wasn't supposed to be here.
Yo, not their time.
Wasn't supposed to be here. I had a schedule.
They'll have their time, but it's not right now.
We'll see.
Dude,
Oh, man.
I would say like way more pressure on the Rangers.
Prefer Rangers will win and Artemi Panarin will hit the game winner. That's interesting.
prefer. Let's go, dude.
No, he won't.
That was prefer there. That was kind of interesting.
Was it so interesting?
No, I don't know. I feel like he doesn't really talk hockey that much.
No, never.
And to give a prediction, I don't know. It's like Michael texted him or something.
Maybe. Wow, Michael.
Yeah, it's me.
Oh,
but yeah, I'm just trying to think. Anything else here on the way out?
I don't think so, dude. Mets doubleheader sweeping. Let's go.
You don't think a split the sixes? You're not worried about Strider versus whoever that
Honestly,
is?
at first I was, but I think the Mets are gonna absolutely tattoo Strider today. And then McGill, big bounce back start. So I think
have they tattooed Strider before? Like just
last season they did.
okay.
And that was when that's when he was like, "Oh, they're lucky hitters and shit."
Right. Okay. So you're saying a sweep today. And then honestly, Yankees today, Judge not in the lineup still. This is the offense recovery.
Yeah, I don't think they really need Judge, honestly. Not to say that, I'm not saying anything bad about Judge. I'm just saying, like, they don't need him to win. Like, it's not
or
like
to score.
It's not a one-man team
to
here,
score more than 4 runs in 3 games.
And I think also because of him being out, they're going to be like, all right, we got to fucking step it up. Like, no Judge.
We're
Let's
sick
go,
of this
dude.
stuff. We're at home.
Dude, DJ LeMahieu, 2 dingers tonight.
2 dingers.
2.
Wow.
What time's the game?
been
7 o'clock, right?
7:05.
7:05? Dude, I'm telling
7:05.
you, DJ coming up big. He's been, honestly, I really enjoy watching. I watched him yesterday, dude.
Yeah.
You like watching him.
I do like watching him. Such a stand-up guy. Great, like, got the good look, dude, the good bat, the good glove, like, all around, great attitude. Like, can't complain about DJ, dude.
Yeah. No, absolutely. So I hope he's the catalyst today. Michael, a couple of espresso shots after this, or
Whoa.
Yeah, I need some.
rough night's sleep, or
No, I slept good.
Oh, you want to get coffee after this?
he's going to look. Espresso only.
Not coffee, Tony.
Well, yeah, I was saying,
Prefer
I'll-
making the
I'll
Volpe
take
4-for-4
you, hang
call
out.
2-run
You don't
score
wanna hang
tonight.
out.
I
That
do
would be
wanna hang
nice.
out, dude.
Um,
What did the first say? I'm sorry,
Volpe 4-for-4 2-run score tonight.
Wow,
that would be a catalyst, Tony.
dude.
Stop.
You know what? Like, let's go New York across the board today, bud. Let's go.
Let's go. Last question before we wrap up here.
Ask me anything.
The Judge thing, they're giving him today off. See how the hip, and they could go 5 days back retroactive 10-day IL. Is that the better move, or do they just give him another day or two and just put him right back in there? Mild hip strain.
Day or two, honestly.
Yeah.
Like,
Need
why?
him.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Need him. Suck it
Obviously,
up,
but
dude.
be
He'll be
100%
fine. Yeah,
certain.
exactly. Yeah, don't be stupid about it. But also don't be stupid about it in the other way where you're super like worried about him or something. That's not good energy. Let's get him back. Let's get the team back, dude.
Bonus
So.
question. Dylan Lawson, hitting coach. Should he be canned?
Wait, sorry, who? What?
Dylan Lawson, their hitting coach. Should he be canned?
I don't think so. Too early.
Players got to
Give it
produce.
time. Yeah.
All right. Fair enough. Maybe 3 espresso shots, Michael?
Yes.
But I have to say, I mean, definitely like a mixed bag today. Tony coming in hot.
Yeah, dude.
Ranger segment timed it perfectly.
I know. Who would have thought? I feel like you thought of that because you went to like NBA first.
Right.
And
Oh,
then,
yeah. Yeah. And then and talk about the other
But
series.
dude, pretty crazy getting the car fucking registered and shit today.
Emissions? Or
yeah,
or just new registration.
Yeah, registration. Yeah, whatever. We're gonna do the whole thing, and my windows are
State
tinted.
of New York.
Dude. Yeah, I got tinted windows, so they're all like real sketchy about it,
Limits.
dude. Can I go to a certain guy? Like, I don't do this one. This guy'll do it. Who's your license?
The goal of the Department of Motor Vehicle is just to make it as difficult for the consumer as possible.
Dude, honestly, I'm starting to think because like, what the hell, dude?
Oh, I mean, we know that. I mean, I'm sure Michael could give us an hour on that. Honestly.
Yeah,
100%.
Oh yeah, definitely, dude. And the window. Come on, who cares about tinted windows, bro?
No, they need to make their cut on it. So
Yeah,
it's fine.
like give me a break.
Yeah, unbelievable. But obviously, huge night tonight, huge day today. Really appreciate everybody tuning in and continuing to comment, like, and subscribe. All the archives on the YouTube page. Tony, Michael, Renee in costume. May 1st, spring in the air, downtowntv.com, spring collection. We want everybody to enjoy the day, enjoy the games. Let's go Yankees. Let's go Rangers. Let's go
Mets, baby.
And we will see you mañana.
Hey guys, Tony here from Downtime TV checking in. I want to thank all our fans out there who's been liking, subscribing, sharing our content. You guys are the best. You guys are our bloodline.